Type with me! In this video I'm going to talk about TypeScript inconsistency in the language. And the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the interfaces with access properties. We will talk about three things, and this is the first subject. Let's go! So at the core of TypeScript you have object interfaces. These are types that represent objects with certain properties on them. For example, here a cat, which can be modeled as what you see here, a cat, and it has a breed, right? This says that cats are objects with a breed property and that it's a string. TypeScript is strictly typed language. This means that to create a cat you don't need to explicitly extend the cat interface. Instead, any object with a breed property that is of type string can be used as a cat. So we can create something like a function, print cat. Then we have here cat. We can do console.log. cat.breed. Then it's also okay that we can create something like const changer So we have a Singapura, it has an age of 3, and then of course we can do print cat ginger, and it's no problem to pass ginger. Also, when you know that cat is or has only one property breed, we can still pass ginger with breed and age, right? Because it knows that a cat has breed. So for this example, we can assume that it's reasonable to conclude that TypeScript allows access properties. But when we do the following thing, you'll see that we get an error, and that's a really strange thing, right? You will see that he will say, okay, arguments of type breed, age, number is not assignable to parameter of type cat. Object-less rules may only specifically known or specify known properties, and age does not exist in type cat. A little bit strange, right? So what happens here? TypeScript takes the stance that interfaces are not strict. They can contain access properties. At the same time, TypeScript endeavors to catch bugs where there are typos in property names or extra property names that do nothing. In the second example, TypeScript realized that even though the argument does match the cat interface, it's probably not a useful thing to pass the age property into the print cat function, and almost certainly represent a mistake. So it's a little bit weird, and I think yeah, it makes the language a little bit more complex, because you know, here we get an error, and with the other case we didn't get the error, right? So the second topic of this video is classes nominal typing. Let's go and see what it is. Alright, so when we now here create a class cat, and we do the same and we create a class dog with the same properties and the same constructor, we can do something like new dog breed. It doesn't matter, right? But you see, it's a little bit strange. Here he asks for a cat, and then we can pass a dog, right? Yeah, but it's because TypeScript is structurally typed, so he looks at the properties within a class, and he will not look into the rest of it, right? So this is all possible. We can save it, and you'll see that he will not complain about it. So the logic here is that because TypeScript is structurally typed, it only cares about the properties that objects contain, not how they were constructed, right? So in this case, you need to be aware of this phenomenon as an engineer, in my opinion, so that you know that these kind of things can happen also within TypeScript. So TypeScript's roadmap has contained an item to investigate nominal typing support for some time, and I hope that it gets prioritized soon, because until then this remains another quirk in the language that every engineer will get bitten by eventually. So you need to be aware that these kind of things are still in the language, of 3.8.3. So be aware of this, and you're fine. So the last thing that I want to discuss today is discriminated unions. So imagine that we have an interface dog and we have an interface cat. Then we can do some union typing, right, with cat and with dog. So an animal can be of type cat or of type dog, right? So then imagine that we have the following function, animal noise, and then we have something like animal.kind is a dog, and then it will bark, and otherwise it will meow. And this calls, or this we call type narrowing, right? So we can narrow down to the correct type. In this case it can be a dog, or it can be of type cat, right? So discriminated unions are important because they provide a way to determine the type of an object based on a runtime check, which isn't easy to do because types only exist at compile time, right? While quite powerful, discriminated unions are also distressingly specific. The compiler is only willing to apply this special treatment under some very specific circumstances. So imagine that we have something like that, taxonomy, and then we define a species. And here we do the same, right? And then we have a union. Then you will see that he has a problem with that. You will see that bark does not exist on type animal. Property bark does not exist on type cat. Same here. Property meow does not exist on type dog, right? And that's because we have something that's a property that's 2 levels deep, right? And with 2 levels, it's not possible to do so. The compiler refused to narrow down the type of animal in 2 branches of animal noise, right? Here it is something that's really, yeah, strange, right? Because we would expect it would be doing this also. But how does this happen? Discriminated unions only apply to properties on the top level on an object. The fact that we nested the information on level deeper means that the TypeScript compiler was unable to notice that it could refine the type. So we are stuck with a surprising compilation error. Yuck. And this is something that I don't like, right? Because you would expect the same behavior that we had before, and that he just knows, okay, this is a dog, right? and the other one is a cat. So, but these are also features within TypeScript that makes it complex also to support this kind of things, right? Because they only also need to go level deeper. And you just need to be aware of that when you use TypeScript, that you only use the top level for this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Please subscribe to my channel and support my channel. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.